Hey everyone, this is T, aka Rose Red P Spiritual Chick. We are going here. We are now at episode number 6. Y'all, can y'all believe we at 6 already? Woo woo! Okay, Joy.
Oh, damn. Sorry. Look, oh, down already. Yeah. I enjoy a joyous connection. I'm here.
Hi, my name is Jazz, aka Jazz the Medium, and tonight we have a special guest, who is my best friend since I was 7 and she was 5.
Hmm.
Tish,
Hello.
welcome, Tish.
Hello.
So
Hey
I
girl,
wanted,
hey.
I,
Welcome.
want-
How are you?
I wanted to bring her on today because I think her form of manifestation is powerful. She's really big on positive thinking, positive speaking, talking about the conversations that you have with yourself. um and I just kind of wanted to hear her thoughts about it and build on it. um Before we get started, Joy,
Hmm.
did you meditate today?
Did I? No, I slept with some meditation music. Why? What's wrong? What I do?
Nothing. It's like you kind of in and out. Your inner your eyes. It's something in the eyes. It's kind of in and out. That's all. I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
Y'all all miss nothing.
no. Before I go to bed, I'm meditating.
Oh, you fine. You don't have to. It just feel like you. I call it medium. It just looks like you
Oh,
medium a little bit.
She
I
probably
feel
is.
I probably am. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So before we get started, Tish, where London at? Tish, she got to tell on you.
London.
Oh, you putting her on blast like that?
She said, London.
She can't wait, boy.
Girl, she could not wait.
Is it time? Okay, okay, okay.
She said, "Is it time?"
It's
Okay.
time. Hi, London.
Hi.
Hey girl.
Hi. Okay. So we had to, I just played my game right. So after the game, my mom she said something. She got taste for Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. So we went to Chipotle and
London, slow down. Wait, Tish, move over a little bit and let her come a little bit forward so she can tell the story.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead, London. Come on.
And talk a little slower, baby. You talk fast. She done kicked
okay.
out the way.
She right there. Okay. So basically, we had went to Chipotle, right?
London,
And there, okay, you could just.
Okay, just go ahead, girl. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so there's this light skin. He had tattoos, like
Oh
he
my
was
God.
full arm sleeve, two tatted. Looked like he had tattoos on his chest. Had some red tattoos, black tattoos. He had a little bit of facial hair. He had long locks. Some of his locks were brown. He had colored eyes. It was just, and he had on this tank top and some sweatpants. He had big muscles. He was a personal trainer. We were just like, whoo, okay,
He was
whew.
pressure.
Pressure. Okay. So we get to the so he's in front of us, right? And we get to the beginning. Like we finna pay she finna pay for the food. And that's when my mom that's when he had to turn around. Said so, hey, you pretty and all that. And he was working his moves. He's like so
Not working his move.
he was like so yeah, I'm personal. That's something, but I know like you here and stuff like you trying to pay, trying to get out of here. He's like, so let's just talk later and let me get some digits. And I was like, so okay, so you can get my and my mom was like, so okay, so you can get my phone number. And my mom typed in the phone number in his phone. And he's like, so okay, and she's like, so okay, my name is Tish. He's like, so Tish, that's a very pretty name. And he was just like, he's like, so you're very pretty. Now that kept saying how pretty she was. And then that's when my mom, and that's when he's like, so, oh, my name, I forget his real name, but he's like, so everybody call me King. And he's like, so okay, but I'm gonna let you get to it, let you like get home or whatever. And then he left snot at her and like. And did a little eye switch thing to her.
He was not twitching his eyes.
Yes, he was.
Oh
She
my
said,
God.
smile and walked out. And you know how the light skins be with them eyes.
Thank you, London. Thank you so much.
Your ass in the
This is
room.
awesome. We can talk to your mom.
Talk about some. You know how them light skins be with them eyes.
London,
No.
fine.
You know.
The blue eye, you just want
And
Ooh.
my child. Um, I have no words.
What is it with these kings, yo?
I don't know. I meet so many men named King. I don't know.
If
Maybe
he's a
because the
cancer.
universe is like, because you're a queen, baby.
I know that's right. Shit.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know,
I'm
child.
sorry,
I
y'all.
don't
I
be.
wanted to hear from London, and I wanted to record this so we can go back to it.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, because remember, right now we're manifesting, we're positively speaking, and we're manifesting you, your life partner. And I told you
Mm-hmm.
he's light skin. So
I know, because she's like, aren't you in a relationship with Mr. Gma? I said, let me tell you something, baby. I said, when a man act like he your man, he your man. If a man act like he ain't your man, he ain't your man.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Period.
It's all about actions, baby.
so
Actions.
my question for you is what led you into the concept of um daily affirmations, positive thinking? What kind of got you on that road?
Um, I think like when I first started, I don't know, it's so cliche, like my spiritual journey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hate saying that, but for lack of better words, I guess when I first started my spiritual journey, I just think I was really, really attracted to that type of manifestation because I talk to myself like all the time. So, um, and I'm like, if I'm gonna be talking to myself all the time, I better be talking right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, be talking crazy to myself. And it made me feel good. Like when I look in the mirror and I tell myself like everything is always working out for me. I am the architect of my life. Like I feel it, Like, and for a while I would just kind of like say it in my head, but then like I found that like once I start saying it out loud and like saying it with emotion, it makes me feel good. And plus, like I love to like compliment. I always see the best in others, and I love to compliment others. And it's like, well, I can get them compliments to myself too.
So tell me a little bit about how you began your spiritual journey.
It's a loaded question. I don't know how many years ago, but maybe almost 10 years ago now. I was in a coma, and I remember like I had got out my coma, I had got out the hospital, and I was at home by myself a lot because like people had their own life. And so I was at home healing, and I didn't have my baby because I couldn't really do anything for her. Like literally all I could do was lay around. I couldn't really do a whole lot for myself, and I just started to get really, really depressed. Um, and I just started asking all of these questions to myself that like I just didn't have the answer. Like, okay, I've already gone through so much in life. Now this, and it's weird when you wake up from a coma. Typically, people will be like, "Well, you should just be happy you woke up," but that's just not the feeling I had. The feeling I had was like, why? Like just questioning what happened, not knowing what happened. Just I just felt like God, the universe, whatever you want to call him, I felt like he was punishing me. And I got really, really, really depressed. And that's what kind of like made me, I guess, go on, I guess you could say, a spiritual journey. I was just like, I need to, or I want to find the deeper meaning of all of this. Like, I know what I experienced when I was in a coma, I know what I heard. And it kind of gave me a little bit of an insight to, I guess, the other side, if you will. Um, and it just made me question a lot. And through question, I just started going down all of these different rabbit holes. But I would say like the simple answer is like I just wanted to feel better. I was tired of being depressed.
Do you mind sharing what you saw on the other side?
Uh, it's like what I saw and what I felt. So like, my mom, she's passed on. So I definitely heard her a couple of times call me. It's so weird, but when people are like, it's a bright light, like, no, it's bright as hell. Like, I remember one time, I was like in that in between stage where I was like in and out, and I was in this hallway. A really, really just bright light was just illuminating everything. And I felt so at peace. And I felt myself just walking down the hallway, and my mom called my name as if to say, stop. It ain't time for you to go, keep going. And I remember I woke up. Um, but I just, more than anything, what I felt is just, I felt a lot of love. I felt at peace. Like, never once did I feel like that wasn't where I was supposed to be when I was there. Um, but visually, it was just really, really bright, like a lot of bright light.
Mm.
That's interesting because when I had my experience, it was dark,
Mm.
but I had the same feeling, like the same sensation, like that love,
Yeah, just
like I
like at
belong.
peace. Like I didn't feel scared. And like I would hear people, it's weird. Because I would hear people praying for me, like, oh my God. And I would just be like, I am okay. Like I'm good. Like what's wrong with y'all? But yeah, it was very interesting. It's an experience like no other. It's like it's not even something like like I said, I can describe like visually. It's just like a feeling. I just felt really, really at peace. And I remember waking up. Like now I know clearly I was supposed to wake up, but it wasn't time for me to transition. But I wouldn't have been mad if I did, if that sounds, you know what I mean? Like, if that don't sound crazy. Like, I just
Mhm.
felt really at peace. And when I woke up, I felt a little bit more chaotic than I was when I was in my coma.
That's interesting because I've heard a lot of people say that. I think it was this story on that I saw TikTok or Instagram or something. But this guy, I guess he got shot or something, and he had kind of same experience. Like he was like, I was so at peace. Like when I was just like, why did I come back to this? So
Listen,
that's interesting.
yeah. Yeah. And I can, like, at the time, I wasn't able to put that into words, but now, like, after processing it, like, me waking up out of my coma was so chaotic. It was almost like, why y'all do this? But and that's why, but I'm so grateful for that experience because now I'm not, well, I don't believe in death. Like I don't believe like just die and then you're not here anymore. But on top of that, I'm not afraid to transition. Like it completely took the fear out of me transitioning. Like when it's time for the physical part of me to go home, I'm okay with that whenever it happens. And that's one thing that came out of my coma too, is like my just lack of fear for a lot of things.
Oh wow! I remember that time because I was present for that entire time. And it's funny how you said you heard people praying for you. So I remember one day we were all surrounded by your bed and we were praying for you. And you actually tapped my hand like, baby, it'll be okay. But you was completely out. You was just like, like, I'm all right. But you tapped my
Yeah.
hand like,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I remember being told that to make plans, to call your next of kin, make plans, that you probably weren't gonna make it. I remember all of that.
Yeah. That was a roller coaster. Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to manifestation, how do you use positive thinking to manifest your desires?
Well, I make sure that I manage my thoughts. Right? It's like I manage anything else in life. And it's not to say like I don't ever have negative thoughts or I'm never in a place where, you know, I'm not being positive per se, but it's just about how long I stay there. It's like I still get mad, I still get pissed off, I still be like, what you know what I mean? But it's like, how long do I stay off my square? And so for me, that's the goal. Is to shorten that time that I'm off my square. Because you're gonna get knocked off your square. You know what I mean? And so I, you know, I have sayings like affirmations written on probably like almost every mirror in my house. I have it written on my desk. I have little cards everywhere with my affirmations on it. And I constantly am saying them like all day long. And even when I am like having a moment, because I have my moments, I just try to correct myself. Like I always try to correct that negative thought, just combat that negative thought with a positive thought. Like I spend a lot of energy doing that. It's mental gymnastics, literally. And when I say that, people be like, what? But it is. It's managing your thoughts is an all day thing because it's like from the littlest thing to the biggest thing. Like even when I'm driving and somebody might cut me off and I'll get upset. Like I'll get upset, I might cut it, and then it's like, Tish, why you get upset? I'm always having that constant self-talk with myself. Like, why did that trigger you? Where did that come from? Like I bring everything back to me because everything is all me. And so I try to make sure that I keep that awareness. Like all the time. And like I said, I definitely get knocked off my square. But one thing that I've learned to do is just shorten that time that I'm off of it and try to get back on it as quickly as possible.
Do you
I
have
needed to talk to you today because that DC traffic on my way home, girl, I was over it. I needed that energy to stay on my square.
Listen,
I'm sorry, Joy. Go ahead.
now listen, that's true because it's like I be telling people it's really that small those small things that trigger us. That if we can learn to control, it will actually help you control like the big how you react to the big things. It's really the small because we react to the smaller things more frequently. And so, somebody cuts you off, or you might have a little argument with your friend, whatever. It's like those small. Your child ain't listening. It's like those small, constant things that happen, like all throughout the day. And what I find is like if the more I learn to manage those small triggers, when the big things happen, like oh goddamn, my car broke down. I'm gonna, or when those big things happen, it's like oh no, I got this because I've been practicing with those small triggers. So when those big triggers happen, it helps me handle those better.
Mhm. I was gonna ask because I know that's one of my not issues. I think I overthink, and I know it's part of just explain it's part of like being a medium, sometimes I see, like everywhere. But that is something I deal with all the time. I can be thinking like positive, like oh, get up, manifest. Not that we're gonna get up and we do our affirmations because I started that with my kids doing it in the morning. The affirmation and things. But then as the day goes, it's like, okay, positive, and then there's other thought coming, then there's other thought coming. So what would your advice of like managing that those thoughts all the time?
I keep it simple. So I keep it simple. That's what I dumb it down, right? And so instead of like having a multitude of affirmations, that I have like one main thing that I say that I come back to all day, every day. Because it's like sometimes we have to just keep it simple, especially when I'm trying to manifest, right? And I understand what people mean when they say you got to be detailed, but like all day, every day, I can't be like, okay, and then I want this, and I want da, 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 da. So what I do is I keep it simple, and I say everything is always working out for me, and I literally say that affirmation all day, every day. It's written on everything in my house. Like I really have because I used to be one of those people where like I had to write down every single detail. And I'm not trying to say that that doesn't work or you shouldn't do that. I'm saying for me, because I find myself getting overwhelmed, anxious, and then feeling like, oh my God, like, why isn't this happening? And I'm like, you know what, Tish, stop. Because at the end of the day, what I want, the only thing I want is to be in a state of wellness. And in order to be in a state of wellness, I need to know and live and embody the fact that everything, no matter what it is, everything is always working out for me. And that is my simple affirmation, but it's so powerful. And I say it all throughout the day. And, I'll have my moments like when I'm journaling and I'll get very detailed in that. But all throughout the day, when I'm managing my thoughts, like if anything, I just go back to it like, you know what, Tish? Everything is always working out for you. That's what, it don't matter what happened. You know why? Because everything is always working out for you. Oh, it don't matter what they say. You know why? Because no matter what happens with this, everything is always working out for you.
Mm, okay. Yeah, because
So
I gonna do the most. I'll be like, yep, I'm 80 pounds. I'll be like, I am confident. I am abundant. I'll be doing all everything.
And that's good too. Like I definitely have those moments where I'm like breaking everything down, brick by brick, detail by detail. But I'm an overthinker, and I'm always in my head, and I'm always talking to myself. And so throughout the day, when I like you those mindless moments, I'm always bringing it back to everything is always working out for me. Everything is, and I'm very strict with myself too in reference to what I take in because I think that matters. Like I don't really listen to a lot of rap music. I pay attention to like what I watch on TV. Like I'm very strict with like what I'm watching on my phone, social media, all of that because that all affects everything for me.
so I have a question for all of y'all. Um, Name a time where you think that you use positive thinking or positive affirmations to manifest something, and what did you manifest?
Do you want to go first, Jasmine?
No,
Okay.
we'll start with T.
Start with who?
You.
I ain't even give me time to get my thoughts together. Um, so I actually
Hold on, wait,
had
hold on 1 second. Let's just take a moment to send T some love. She done got caught in traffic coming home. She tired. Come on, let's send T some love. Let's send her some love. She done got
Uh,
caught in
thank
traffic
you.
coming home.
I
She
need it.
tired. She ain't on it.
Um, there's a couple of things though. So I'm trying to debate how deep I want to go right now. So
Go deep.
I really don't want to because I almost want to share that story right now. That's an offline conversation. This is so. Um, one of the things that shout out to the forerunner, my bro, Big Mac. I mean, Bro Mac, Big Bro Mac, Sunside. So one of the things that I do every morning is I talk to myself in the mirror. We call it mirror work. Um, Also in this, obviously with Jazz and Tish having similar experiences, and then us on this spiritual journey, we have to understand that time and space does not exist. So a simple one that I use is I had make sure I had the same parking spot every single day when I got to work. Um, and I literally would get in the mirror and be like, I'm gonna have my parking spot today, and I would literally visualize it as I'm in the mirror. And every day for gosh, about a good 6 to 8 months straight, I had the same parking spot every day. Like even when I'm pulling up to the street, if there was a car there, they were moving. That's one time that I manifested something that worked out in my favor. Now, then I think I can get the traffic just like part like the Red Sea, you know. But yeah, that's one of my times that I did that.
Like Bruce Almighty.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Y'all seen that movie?
Yes.
when you part of traffic light.
Yes.
All right, Joy.
Let's see. Hmm.
You had a lot of time to think, ma'am.
I know a couple of things. I think about like, well, I do the vision. I used to do the vision board, getting into astrology. So not say like yeah, manifesting and things like that. What I set my mind to on for that year. My car, my man, I bought a house. I'm somewhere. But I bought a house. Um, kids. I was the only thing I didn't was wasn't married at that time, but I still had my man. But I'll consider that recent, though. I would say that the new position at my job. Um, I had kind of been like real stagnant at my job, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm about to go get this. This is mine. This is my position. This is the pay rate I want." Yeah, and I got that. They're doing now. They get on my nerves a little bit, but I got got that. So.
Jazz, do
Sis,
you want to go or you want me to go?
I want you to go.
Okay. I mean, I've manifested a lot. Um, I've manifested my skin removal surgery. Um, paid for. 100%. Um, I manifested what $20,000 before. I manifested my last relationship, who was a good man. So, um, good man. I manifested my apartment. I literally have literally have visualized so many things in my life that has happened and is happening, and I've seen myself doing it. Like I remember before I had my weight loss surgery back in 2011, I literally visualized myself having weight loss surgery, and I had weight loss surgery for free. Did not have to pay for it. Ain't paid one dime. Um, After I had lost all the weight for years, I would just lay in my bed and visualize not having any of that loose skin and how my body would look with having skin removal surgery, which I was told would cost me upwards to almost $100,000, and I ain't paid not one dime, and my insurance is covering it all. Like I've manifested. I remember one time my car broke down. This happened like 2 years ago, and they were like, "Oh, you need a new transmission. You need this. You need that." Baby, I didn't need none of that. Nothing. Like, oh, I don't know how that happened. I do. Like, I manifested so much. Like, and when I think about it, I just be in a state of gratitude. But it reminds me of my power, because sometimes we feel like we don't have the power over our lives, and I just gotta stop and think like how I've molded my life in so many ways, and then I'd be like, I gotta stop giving my power away. Like, I'm very powerful. Like I had a moment like that the other day where, and it was something small, but I was like, this about to happen. And it happened. And I was like, you know what, Tish? You need to like watch your words even more, because literally what you say happens. And I told myself that, like, and I told myself in a way that, like, I believed it because I had so much to reference. I had to stop and think about every single example that I have of where I told myself what was going to happen, I visualized what was going to happen, and it happened. And so it's like, when I be feeling powerful, like, oh my God, I don't know what I know exactly what I'm going to do. I had to remind myself of that. Like, we are so powerful. Like, and I try to keep that in mind. Like, I'm literally speaking stuff over my life at every moment. So I'm only going to speak good stuff. Like, I just told my friend the other day, like, all of that stuff might be happening in your reality, but in my reality, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about a shortage of nothing in my reality. I don't know nothing about nothing that's going on that's affecting this you and I don't know. Maybe that's how it happened in your reality. Like, okay, maybe the writing on the wall in your reality. Maybe all the signs are there in your reality. In my reality, I don't know. I don't see that.
You just sound like my husband. Sorry, I ain't in the. But that is so true. 'Cause we would be sitting, especially during COVID. I know a lot of people that was like deaths and getting COVID and things like that. Um, like relationships is going bad, all this stuff. But in our reality, it's like, babe, we're not dealing with nothing. I'm just
That
saying stuff.
part.
It's like that's not our reality.
Mhm.
Like
Li-
we're not even like the news and things like that be going on. We're not so oblivious to anything because it's not like brought into our reality.
No,
Huh.
and you got to be radical in that because that's why you have to. I'm very mindful about who I speak to about certain things because you have to be radical in that mindset because people be like, I mean, don't you watch the news? Don't you know what's going on? No, not in my. All I know is what's going on over here. And the only thing we speaking over here is abundance. Like everything working out for me. Like, like you need to, but don't you know you need to be concerned with this? No, I don't. And for that is so radical to say, especially, in the climate that we're in right now. Because people are like, well, don't you care? Of course I care. I care. But in my reality, what's most important is that I know everything working out for me. And in my reality, I can't watch the news. In my reality, I can't follow every single little thing that's happening because it don't benefit me. In my reality, there's not a shortage of anything. Like I don't even buy into it. Like it don't matter who the president is. In my reality, maybe that affects you. And see, that's
Mhm.
radical. You can't just say that out loud to anybody. They're gonna look at you sad. What you talking about? Well, in my reality, it don't matter who the president because that don't affect me. And people gonna think you crazy. Like, what do you mean it don't affect you? What about the gas prices? What about these eggs?
Right.
I mean, I got eggs. I ain't had now. And sometimes I sit and I'm in awe because I be like, dang, I know people who make way more money than me who talk about how they struggling every day. And I sit back and be like, wow, not in my reality. And it don't matter if it makes sense. That's the thing. We gotta stop thinking things have to make sense. It don't matter if it makes sense. It don't matter if the signs are there. It don't matter if this is how it's always been in the past. In my reality, this is what it is. In my reality, it really don't matter what type of government we have because I'm always good.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm definitely with you on that one because I said the same thing. I was like, we still gotta get up and go to work, right? So it don't matter who it is, bills still gotta be paid. So
Mhm.
I definitely agree with you on that one because I did get the side eye like, what? Yeah, it don't matter, you know.
Mhm.
I also think that's even more. So just like we can, speak positive things over our lives, we can speak negative things over our lives too. That's why we have to be careful and watch, especially the conversations that we have with ourselves and the conversations that we have with others.
Mhm.
And I get my moments too, my little thinking moments too. Tish checking me all the time, like, don't say that now.
I know. I just told Jasmine
Like
that.
Joy be checking me.
Mhm. I just told her that. She's like, girl, he ain't gonna do that. I said, now why would you speak that in my life? Why you gonna say that man ain't gonna do that for me? How you don't know the man gonna I don't care what the history say. You don't know that. Don't speak that over my life. But I mean, honestly, I feel like I was maybe telling Jasmine about it. I don't know, but I was reading this article and it was talking about how brands, like for instance, they were talking about this purse brand. I want to say it was Hermes, and they were saying how like in China it costs like $1,000 to make this purse. Okay, but like they'll send it to Europe, they'll put their little label on it, and then they'll turn around and they'll sell it for like $35,000, right? And they were saying like people will just buy it. Like they don't even question, like, well, why am I paying this much money? You know why? Because this company or mayors, whatever, they said, listen, this is what my value is, and this is what I'm worth. And it don't need to make sense to you why this is my value. It don't need to make sense to you why it's worth that much. And guess what? Because they bought into themselves, other people bought into them. So people will go out and they'll spend all this money on stuff. They don't know why they're spending this much money on it. They don't know why I got this much value. And I was telling, it wasn't Jasmine now, I remember telling Justice, I was like, all we got to do is buy into ourselves. And once you buy into yourself, everybody gonna buy into you. And stop thinking that it gotta make sense. It don't matter why it costs 5,000. It don't gotta make sense to why it costs that. People gonna pay it though, because that's the value that they gave themselves.
Mhm.
And so we gotta stop thinking that things have to make sense. Don't nothing have to make sense. You just gotta know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Tish over there being a brand manager. Okay. I know who I need to come talk to when we get off this.
I
I'm just
really
saying.
No, but really, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, we never, even, when we go out and we're buying stuff and we're spending all this money, probably 90% of the things we spend money on, we know we spending more than what it's worth, but we don't question it and we still spending our money. These people said that's what their product is worth and we gonna pay for it. It don't have to make sense to us. And if we took that mentality for ourselves, like it doesn't need to make sense that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and have $5,000 in the bank. It don't need to make sense. It don't gotta make sense. It can just happen for me because impossible things happen every day and miracles happen every day. And that sounds so radical, right? In saying that, which is why I'm very particular about who I speak to because people will talk you out of your own manifestations. Oh, that can't happen. Oh, that won't happen. Well, how that's gonna happen? Well, last week this happened, so how this gonna happen this week? For years, I just had this experience because for years people told you'll never get insurance to pay for your skin removal surgery. Insurance don't do that. Even my own doctor, just a month ago, he was like, I mean, I'll submit it to insurance, but they typically don't cover it. So here, I'm gonna give you this quote for $10,000. I said, okay. I came back to the doctor a month later. He said, what type of insurance do you have? They covered everything. Oh yeah, because
Yes, around.
just because you can't see it for you, that don't mean I can't see it for me. And for years, literally 13 years, everybody told me they'll never do it. You'll have to do that. They don't cover. You just lost the weight, so feel good that you lost weight. And maybe one day you'll get the money to pay for skin removal surgery. I just had a lady yesterday in this plastic surgery group that I'm in. She made a post and was like, insurance will never cover for you to get the extra skin off your back removed. And I commented on her post and said, well, that's not true. I did, and I didn't have to do nothing. But we will let people tell us, well, this didn't happen for me, so this can't happen for you. And then we believe it. Because I did. I know for a long time I was like that. Well, this person said that this would never happen or this can never happen. So I guess I'm not going, okay. Well, I'm just going to leave it alone. I ain't even going to want it no more. Because they said that it couldn't happen for them. And we do that every day and we got to stop that. Like, it don't got to make sense. We just got to buy into it.
And that speaks back to your manifestation. Um, even when you're talking about like your price is your price. You said your price. Well, you didn't say it like verbatim like that, but that's what I was saying. But your price is your price. Um, you will start manifesting those people who will pay that versus when you're trying to shortchange it. When you're trying to shortchange yourself, you're gonna get people who's like, oh, let me get that discount. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
my friend didn't charge that. My price is my price.
Yep.
So somebody's gonna pay it, and those people will come in. So
Mm-hmm. No matter if them eggs go up to $10, it don't make sense to us. Is we gonna go buy some chickens or we gonna buy them eggs? We gonna buy them eggs, child. till we get like a farm or something. But we don't ask those type of questions, like, with other things. We only ask it with ourselves, like, well, does this make sense, or does history tell me that this can happen, like, or do I deserve this? Because that's really what it be, because you can't really manifest something you don't believe that you deserve. You gotta know you deserve it. And I think that's like the root of manifestation, is like doing that healing. You got to make room for your manifestations. And in order to make room for your manifestations, you got to heal. And a lot of times it go back to like that childhood stuff where, whatever mama did, daddy did, whatever, made us believe that we got to do something to get something. You know, the other day I was having an experience, and through this experience, I had, just kind of a vision of a sense, where it's like I had an outer body type of experience. And it's like my higher self was talking to me and was like, you are everything and you have everything. Therefore, you don't need anything or anyone. Like you don't need anything outside of yourself. Like you have it all. Like, and me and working through a lot of my childhood trauma and stuff like that, it all goes back to that deservability piece, like believing that I deserve the things that I desire, because somewhere along the line someone did something or said something that made me feel like I have to earn something or I got to do something, that it's just not my birthright to be abundant. And it is. And that's one thing that I focus on heavily, is like telling myself, like, that's actually one of my affirmations. Like, I am worthy of unconditional love. I'm worthy of abundance. Because when you don't believe that you're worthy of something, your actions are not going to follow. Because, just like the Bible say, faith without works is dead. So I definitely don't believe you just sit up and tell yourself something all day long, but you're not putting in no work either. But it's like, what type of work are you putting in? And sometimes we be working way too hard for the things that we want, And I just think the more we work on telling ourselves but really believing and knowing that we deserve everything we desire, it just heals you a little bit more and clear up a little bit more space, get rid of a little bit more of that trauma, allow you to bring in a little bit more of those manifestations. The more you believe, like, I deserve this. Like, I deserve a good life. I deserve to pay my bills without stress or strain. I deserve for everything to work out for me. Why don't I deserve it? Why am I not worthy of it? Why do I have to work hard to be abundant? Who said that? And why I believe it?
And you know what? The thought just came to me too. Like, oftentimes some of the stuff is generational,
Oh
especially
yeah.
being whom we are descendants of.
Yeah, money don't grow on trees. That's what my granddad used to always
A lot
say.
of that stuff is generational. We come from a whole generation of people who spent hundreds of years being told that they weren't worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, I'm reading this book, and in the book, the lady says, she says, when we are born, we're born with all the eggs of our children are already in our body, right? So when our mother was born, all the eggs of all the children that she was going to have was already in her body, including you and your eggs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for your grandmother. So any trauma, anything they went through, anything that they formed to believe in themselves, anything they programmed their body or their cells to believe has been passed down to us.
Mm.
So the question is, how do we break that? How do we break that cycle?
Yeah.
It's genetic too. Just like diseases and stuff are genetic in families, so is trauma and thinking and how we move and how we act and how we manifest and how we manifest abundance.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I definitely think that healing and reprogramming is important.
Yeah. And understanding, like, you can't heal in the same environment that the trauma exists in.
That right there.
And so sometimes we have to remove ourselves from our family, our friends. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't heal in that environment. And I think for a lot of us, that's a challenge.
Yeah. Especially when we want to belong.
Yeah,
We
we
want to be,
want to belong. Absolutely.
and we want to be loved by certain people,
Hmm.
you know, especially those that hurt, especially if it's a parent.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
You want
I'm
to be
going
loved
through
by
it
them.
with my father right now, where I'm like healing stuff with like little Tish, and like we are going at it right now. And you know, I'm realizing that the healing that I have to do in reference to my father, I want so bad for him to be a part of this. And it's like, girl, this ain't got nothing to do with him.
Mm-mm.
But I want so bad for him to be a part of this healing.
You remember we had that talk after you had your surgery, and I
Hmm.
was like, I don't think this has anything to do with your dad. Everything he did annoyed you, girl.
Still do. I'm fine. I ain't perfect, baby. But listen, that's what I'm saying. Like I have to constantly check myself with that situation. You know, but but I told myself the other day, you know, like, hey, we have to make even more room for the manifestations that's
Hmm.
waiting for us, you know, because it's there, it's here. I just have to align myself with it. You know,
Hmm.
everything is already here. I already have it. I just have to, you know, align. And so I make room for it. And I think, you know, so I'm
Hmm.
teaching, listening to myself, taking my own advice. Like, how you think you're gonna be able to heal from trauma with your daddy? With your daddy, like, think about that. Like,
Because we
girl,
be at the same time. We be like, what would that? Yeah, I understand.
how that work?
But then that's what happens in relationships. Like, you manifest it and you want it so bad, and then when you get it, you push it away because that's where you hurt at. And it's hard for you to heal in the same place that you hurt. So you'll manifest everything you want in a partner. You'll get it, and as soon as you get it, it could be the littlest
Mm-hmm.
thing. You be like, I'm
Yep.
done. I'm out.
Yep.
And I think we've all probably been witness to that. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because y'all know I'm a runner. I'm a track star. So yeah.
what you
What you
say,
say?
T?
I said I'm a runner. I'm a track star.
I'm a runner.
So
I'm a
yeah.
track. You know, they say in relationships, they say that in relationships, one person is always the runner, and then the other person's always like, "No, please don't go. No, don't go." And the other person's like, "I'm up too. It's gone, baby."
Yeah, they say something wrong. I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. So, but I've done my work. I've done my healing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Took a
stay. I'm like, we
while.
gonna work this out, baby. Where you going? Let's go together. You want to run together? Let's go running. I got my track shoes. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm typically a runner, but what I've learned to do is to kind of stay put. And like Tish said, you gotta learn to look at yourself because in all essence, it is you. Everything's about you,
Baby,
whether you realize it or not.
that'd be hard.
Unless somebody come get me, I'm not gonna run from them. And if I do, I'm gonna call you on the phone. Conference call. Let's go.
Hmm. And that's all it is in essence. So,
We didn't get
Miss,
your
you ain't said what you manifesting, man.
Right.
Come
You
on.
ain't tell us what you did. We done went off on some
Nice try
tangents.
though.
well, there's a few things I manifested through positive thinking and positive speaking. I manifested a salary that was more than I expected, and it was all about deserving. And I manifested my relationship. Tisha be attest to it. There was one time where I just didn't believe I could ever have anybody, because I had all these kids, I had all these issues. all these things going on, and I just, though I wanted it, somewhere in my mind, I just always felt like I didn't deserve it, or I couldn't have it. I wasn't attractive enough. I didn't have enough. I couldn't do enough.
Mm.
You know, and I really started healing that part of me and working on my thinking. A lot of that stuff it stems from childhood. So I started journaling, and then something was like, you know what? Right now, everything you want in a partner, and say it. So I made a list. I wrote down everything I wanted in a partner. I said it out loud. I affirmed it, set them passwords, and closed that journal. And I met him 5 months later. 5 months later.
Girl, I'm about to journal tonight. That's what I need to do.
Girl, I've been telling you to do it.
Maybe I need
Yes.
to revise my goddamn list. But, yeah.
I've been telling you to do it.
I wrote the
And,
list. I wrote 2 lists.
and me and him sat down and we checked off all the checks except for 2. He's not
Mm.
bald and he doesn't have a big old beard. That's it. Everything else checked out.
I love
Everything else
that.
checked out.
I love that.
So that is the beauty of positive thinking and manifestation. So Tish, if you had any advice for anyone out there on different ways that they can begin this journey, what would you tell them?
Mm, focus on yourself. Um, because that will start to eliminate your distractions. That's what I would tell people.
That's it.
I mean, I would tell them so much more. I would tell them that they are worthy, that they are deserving, that they need to learn how to be honest with themselves because that's the only way to get to the root of your trauma and to actually heal it is by being honest. I would tell them that they need to know that everything is working out for them. I would tell them that um, you do not have to be what you've been through, and that the only state of being is wellness. That's it. That's the goal. And just strive to be well and to um, just always have your will, like your will to be well. It just has to be stronger than your will to be a victim. That's what I would tell people. And everything is always working out for you. Say it all day long, all the time. Write it everywhere. Put it on everything. Just say it. Even if you don't believe it, it don't matter. You will. You will eventually buy into it. Everything is always working out for you. And once you know and believe with all that everything is always working out for you, it don't matter what happens. Because ain't no such thing as good and bad. It's just stuff, it's just experiences, right? But when you know that everything is always working out for you, you know that you're gonna be all right. You know that you're gonna be fine. Say it every day. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you go to bed. Everything is always working out for me. Just say that all day, every day. Write it down everywhere. You are enough, and everything is always working out for you. Everything, all the time, no matter what. Everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. Oh my God, Jasmine, everything is always working out for you. Joy, everything is always working out for you. T, everything always working out for you. Everything. Don't it feel good to know like everything is always working out for you? Because everything literally is always working out for us. All the time. Everything is always working out for you. Like that's it. Like you don't even need to say no more.
I'm
Like
gonna
everything
stick
is
that on my
working out.
mirror in the
Yes.
bathroom in the morning.
Right.
It's always working out for me.
Everything is always working out for me. And it feels good to know that everything is always working out for me.
So
I
T,
love that everything is always working out for me.
What's up, Jay?
What advice would you give others out there that are going through some things and they're trying to bring better into their lives, manifest better? Joy, same question for you after T.
So it's kind of hard to come in behind Tish though. She said a lot of things that I'm thinking. Um, for me, I would say you have to like who you see in the mirror. So I would say get in the mirror every morning and do, like I said, we call it mirror work. However, how can you believe in yourself if you don't like looking at what you see, a reflection of yourself? So it's going to start there. Um, so I would say, everything is working out for me. Say it in the mirror so it can help you believe that. Because any manifestation is not going to work if you don't have that intention behind it. What I mean by intention, if it doesn't have that feeling, if it's not coming from your heart, nothing's going to happen, baby. You got to speak it and believe it. Belief is the biggest part of manifesting things into existence. So that's what I would say.
Joy.
All right, I'm gonna try to be quick. And baby leaving. So it's a little bit louder here. Um,
We're wrapping
uh,
up.
yeah, I agree with everything. Tish and she said, uh, and that healing part is so important. From what Tish said, I never thought about it. But it's very important. So, I, it's one shadow work, so I understand it. Um, but yeah, believe in yourself. Understanding that you control your reality. That's one thing that I always say. So, um, if you already set your intentions on what your reality is, you're gonna be able to manifest what you want to have, and everything is gonna work for you. Yeah, you're the master of your reality. That's all I can say with that. So if you believe that you're the master of your reality, what you want to manifest, what you want to manifest in your life, you want to start happening. Just have to plant that seed. Like, Bob said, was it the seed of a mustard seed or a paper mustard seed? You have that little paper in order to be able to manifest what you need to.
All right. I guess I will close this out by agreeing with everything that y'all said. But I just definitely want to say that we are the creators of our reality. There is no such thing as good and bad. It's just stuff that happen. And I think once program your thinking to believe that you're able to find yourself in this sweet spot. I call it the sweet spot. What's the name calls it a vortex? What's the name?
Abraham Hicks.
Abraham Hicks calls it a vortex, and it's just a good place to be in. It's very neutral, and I think it just takes a certain amount of awareness to be there, and I think saying positive affirmations and things like that help you to decode. Um, how can I say it? I feel like it causes like a decoding your DNA for you to think differently. Like I really think that things happen inside the
Breaking the
body.
chain.
You're breaking that chain, and also
Hmm.
it's been shown scientifically. You've seen that study where that man was speaking to those plants, and you looked at the molecules of the plants where he was saying mean things to compared to the plants where he was saying loving things to and how they grow and develop. So imagine what you're doing to yourself when you're not speaking positively, or you're not speaking highly, or you're not manifesting positive things with your thoughts and your words.
Hmm.
But we'll go
I
ahead
want
and
to
close
add to
out.
that. Hold on, I just want to add to that real quick for the people. Also, pay attention. Oh, pay attention to how you feel,
Yep.
because like how you feel, and I feel like maybe T said this too, but pay attention to how you feel, and not just when you saying your affirmations, but all throughout the day, because you can't say that you want to manifest abundance, but you're not acting and feeling abundant because it's all energy. And so I would tell people that, like, whatever you want to manifest, try to become that. If you want to manifest love, become love, and ask yourself, how does love act? How does love feel? How does love treat people? How do abundant people act? How do you know what I mean? And always pay attention to like how you're feeling, because how you feeling, that's an indication of what energy and vibration you're in. You can't say that you want to attract, abundance and love, but the energy that you're in is a lack energy and negative energy. And so I would just want to add that.
All right. Tish, I want to thank you for coming on here and speaking with us.
Thank you
Thank
And
for
you.
letting me. I appreciate y'all.
thank you, ladies, for tuning in. With that being said, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for all of us.
Yep.
And good night. Peace, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Peace.